The Wings are back in action throughout March. Tickets are on sale now at wingslax.com. All right, some entertainment stories for you. We will start with this one, and I love this. Pierce Brosnan has pleaded guilty in his Yellowstone hiking case where he was a Turon.
Yes.
The Turons of Yellowstone.
Right.
He was charged with wandering into a delicate hot spring in November 2023, initially entering a not guilty plea. Brosnan has now taken a plea deal. He pleaded guilty to one charge, and the other charge was dismissed. As a result, he had been ordered to pay fines and court costs totaling around $1,540. I'm happy. Good. Dude, you do the wrong thing at parks like that, you need to pay the price.
And as we said many times, it's not like it isn't posted.
It's
all
everywhere.
over the place. And I love Pierce Brosnan. So he's going to – I was surprised, though, to be honest – excuse me, that it was just $1,500.
Yeah, the fines aren't very stiff, but he has posted pictures of himself in off-limit areas of the park, which caught the attention of the Turons of Yellowstone Instagram page that showcases rule-breaking tours.
Oh, that was one of the least of his infractions. He posted footage of him cooking a baby bear cub over an open fire.
I didn't see that one.
Wow.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
I get irrationally angry at Turons. I don't know why it makes me so mad, but it really does.
I can suggest because as I said, it's posted all over the place.
And it's like this sense of like I'm allowed to do this. I'm more special than everybody else. I don't have to abide by the rules, and I'm going to go over there because I want to get a selfie.
I'm exactly with you. That's why I can't stand it.
It's so selfish.
It's not irrational. You're spot on, sir.
I remember there were these people that were getting too close to Buffalo. I was out there, and I was dragging a baby elk behind my car. And I'm like, these morons.
Yeah, they can.
I was going to say, but some of the pictures are really good.
Yeah.
Right?
Get out.
Right? Yeah.
Get out.
This is sad news, but Regina King was on Good Morning America on Thursday, gave her first interview since the death of her son, Ian Alexander. That was January 2022 when he passed. The Oscar-winning actor said she's a different person now following his death 2 years ago. She said, grief is a journey. I understand that grief is love that has no place to go.
Yeah.
And I know that it's important to me to honor Ian in totality of who he is. Speak about him in the present because he is always with me and the joy and happiness that he gave us all. He was 26 years old. He took his own life.
Suicide. Yeah, I thought so.
And he was her only child. But she said, listen to this. She said, when it comes to depression, people expected to look a certain way. They expected to look heavy. To have an experience, to have to experience at this and to not be able to have the time to just sit with Ian's choice, which I respect and understand. He didn't want to be here anymore, and that's a hard thing for other people to receive because they did not live our experience. They did not live Ian's journey. She said that through tears, she said that she had initially was so angry with God. She said, why would that weight be given to Ian, all of the things that we had gone through, therapy, psychiatrist, programs, and Ian was like, I'm tired of talking, Mom. Sometimes a lot of guilt comes over me.
But she said that he was up and, happy just a day or two before.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like it's like a 180 that you can't process as the person left behind.
She said, a lot of guilt comes over me. When a parent loses a child, you still wonder, what could I have done so that wouldn't have happened? And I know that I share this grief with everyone, but no one knows no one else is Ian's mom, so that's terrible. But she's processing it in the only way she knows how. Lighter stuff. Let's go to this. I mean, it's divorce stuff, but it's a little lighter than that. The marriage to, it's been nearly 4 years since Kelly Clarkson filed to enter marriage to Brandon Blackstock, and 2 years since the ink dried on their divorce settlement, but the former couple may have come to terms with the custody of their 2 children and ownership of their ranch in Montana, but the legal battle continues into a 5th year. Regarding her business dealings with her ex-father-in-law, Narvel Blackstone. Blackstock.
You're nothing but a harlot.
And Starstruck Management.
Narvel.
Clarkson has filed a new cross-complaint to possibly increase the $2.6 million her ex-husband was ordered to pay late last year.
The problem with all this and the entanglements is that he was actually managing her career for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that became a big problem.
After the Blackstock sued Kelly for over $5 million in unpaid commission, she countersued, alleging that Starstruck had violated the law by acting as a talent agency in those dealings. And the court sided with Clarkson, and now she's asking them to determine if she's owed even more, suing for judicial intervention regarding their interactions for the entirety of their working relationship.
So when you hear Narvel, don't you think of it like a hunched-over guy with a walking stick? And
yeah.
You're that prostitute from American Idol.
Something like that. Narvel.
Narvel's my name.
So that continues on. This is good news. Last night on Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon confirmed he is heading to Paris to host the 2024 Olympics closing ceremony. Jimmy recaps the invite from Mike Tirico during the prior night show when he was on with Kelly Clarkson and Peyton Manning to reveal that the trio, will be opening the ceremony. Those three, Mike and Clarkson, Kelly and Peyton. And at the end of the interview, Tirico asked Jimmy, will you do the closing ceremony with me? And he confirmed it's real, it's happening. I'm going to do it. I'm headed to Paris. I'm going to co-host the Olympics closing ceremony this summer.
Hey, for yesterday's conversation, did we determine that you had mentioned the Seine is clean enough for swimming competitions? Did we determine what swimming competitions are taking place?
No, I'll look it back up again.
Yeah.
But
that blew my mind.
yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
That'd be like being able to put a cup in the Schuylkill now. And
That's exactly right. I mean, and the problems that they had with an ancient sewer system. But it's not just for the Olympics. They really needed to revamp all of it, and they used the Olympics as an excuse. So
pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Sydney Sweeney doesn't seem to be bothered by the less than super response to Madam Web, the star who appears as Julia Cornwall in the superhero film, weighed in on the backlash to the critically panned movie that flopped at the box office, became the subject of memes, and was included in jokes by John Mulaney and Jimmy Kimmel during Sunday's Academy Awards. Sweeney, in an interview with the Los Angeles Times, explained why she's unfazed by the intense reaction. She said, I was just tired as an actress in it, so I was just along for the ride for whatever was going to happen. So
that's a healthy attitude.
That's all she
Besides, her career her trajectory is strong right now.
Yeah.
Now that people have discovered her.
Dakota Johnson, Sweeney's Madam Web co-star, recently told Bustle that she isn't surprised by how the reactions to the film went down, and we had covered this earlier. She said, I had never done anything like it before, and I probably won't do anything like it again because I don't make sense in that world, and I know that now, she said. So don't expect to see either of them probably in a superhero movie in the near future. Busy Phillips is set to make a return to late-night television with a new talk show on QVC.
This is great news for people who had no idea that she had a show to begin with.
Yeah.
There are talk shows on QVC?
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, they have some content. You know, they've been producing movies, QVC.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah. We had...
we had John McKeever in because he had done that. It was like a Christmas
movie, and it was actually pretty good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kathy,
I've forgotten about the QVC connection.
Perhaps Kathy could produce now with her jewelry line.
Yeah.
I told you guys, my friend is on there now. She's one of the hosts, and man, it's
licensed to print money, right?
I mean, yeah, it's just it's so much money. It's so it's crazy.
Yeah. It's a nuclear explosion of commerce.
So she will lead Busy this week on QVC Plus and HSN Plus streaming platforms.
You get that on your toaster?
Starting from May 8th. The half-hour show promises celebrity interviews, hilarious moments,
I'm sure,
personal stories, and curated shopping finds as well.
Steve, I know you joke about my jewelry line being on QVC. I did actually speak to somebody about it, but the amount that they produce, or the amount that needs to go out the door and that is purchased.
You have to have a massive inventory, right?
You have to have a manufacturer. They won't even take a meeting with you. Excuse me. They won't take a meeting with you unless you have a manufacturer in place to manufacture your item, because so much gets sold.
Kathy, what do you think the odds are they would give us a half hour in Preston, QVC, for the poop knife?
All right.
Now, sometimes if you have a bowel movement that's particularly ornery, this is what you need. And you get the calling from out of the state. And
yep.
I wonder how many poop knives we could move. I've never seen them move novelty items.
That's a good question. Don't know if they dabble into knives they do knives. I don't know if they do poop and poop knives. The first season for Busy Phillips consists of 14 episodes, with 10 airing every Wednesday, followed by 4 holiday-themed episodes in November and December. And she said, To comment on this, I'm a huge QVC fan, stretching way back, and I'm so grateful that they're getting into the late night game with us.
Do you remember actually in the documentary about Joan Rivers, that showed her booking comedy gigs and getting desperate and wondering if she had something on the calendar?
Yeah.
They make a specific point about, and Kathy, this speaks to what you just said, when she brought her Bumblebee line to QVC, she was desperate, and that turned everything around. Made her, it recharged her bank account and reset everything.
What was Bumblebee? Was that a brand?
She had all these rings and necklaces. It was all like a bumblebee or bee.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then I only have one more story. Netflix has entered into a multi-year deal to exclusively stream the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor ceremony.
Oh, that's cool.
Which previously aired on PBS, and then on CNN.
I always end up watching him after the fact on YouTube.
Yeah, this year's honoree is Kevin Hart, who will be recognized for his contributions to comedy at the Kennedy Center Concert Hall, and that will be on March 24th.
I love when they gave it to Mickey Rourke. That was one of my
Did
favorites.
they do? I don't even remember that.
Why am I here?
Kevin Hart was on The Masked Singer.
Yes, he
I
was.
thought that was.
Doesn't that blow your mind?
That was way too high-profile celebrity.
Well, they had just had De Niro the week before.
Oh, did they?
Pacino, Jimmy. Yes.
Well, he probably got called in, somebody who is behind the production is a friend or something. And
does he have something to promote? Is
yes,
he
that's it.
All right,
It dovetails with something he's promoting.
Does
that's how you're promoting.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
I know.
A lot of people watch Masked Singer. Preston, is this Netflix event, the Mark Twain thing? Is that will it be streamed live?
The event will be taped for its premiere on Netflix on May 11th.
Because Netflix is dabbling with live productions now. Yes. I haven't seen any of them yet, but the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight is Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that'll be live.
I believe so.
I actually recently saw a couple of those live things pop up, and I was like, oh.
There was maybe somebody did a live comedy special. There are a few things that have been floating around.
Yeah, it was and I forget who did it.
Yeah,
right.
It's interesting foray for them.
It is. It's interesting all the way around. Marissa had mentioned something to me we were on the plane. She was like, "Have you heard lately these podcasts are doing live podcasts?" And I'm like, "Oh, you mean radio?
We do.
You mean what we've been doing for 25 years as a show?"
Oh my God.
Oh my God, what a concept. The event will be taped for its premiere on Netflix on May 11th, like we said, coinciding with the Netflix. Coinciding with this is a joke fest in Los Angeles. Netflix is a joke fest in Los Angeles.
Just a little street.
What is that?
Yeah, what is that guy?
That's like a blower.
Street cleaner?
Yeah, an
Look
industrial
at that.
blower. Yeah.
That looked fun.
I was
looks
thinking,
fun.
I'm like, can we ride?
It's just a single guy on this, like one of those really fast lawnmowers.
Yeah.
Steve, go tackle him.
Yeah. Hey, buddy. I come running out of the dark. Can I ride with you?
I'll tell you what I do want to ride are those little boats that we saw last night
Dude.
at dinner.
Yes. We went to
what boats? What little boats?
We went to Columbia last night. Fantastic restaurant that we've been to before. Is there more things coming down the street? Or
It's
is
the
that
same guy, but he's in an area where the sound is being trapped and sent right back to us, Preston.
Steve, so they had essentially these single-person boats, and clearly they had some type of jet ski engine, so like a jet.
I've seen him on
So you
Instagram.
can flip around and go
God.
really, and this guy came flying up to we were sitting outside. He came flying up and did a real quick, donut in the water.
But they're race cars, Steve.
Yeah, they look like
race cars.
like race cars.
Yeah.
I haven't
So
seen
it looks
those.
It was like a Corvette.
Looks like you're driving a car on the water.
On the water, it was pretty cool.
So I've seen the thing that you're talking about, though. It's almost like a torpedo that can spin around and do all this stuff. Is that what they were doing?
No, it's not. But it looked like it looked like a Corvette.
Oh, wow.
It came flying in on the water. We're like, what the hell?
That's cool.
All right. So anyhow, the Netflix's Joke Fest in Los Angeles, a star-studded lineup of performers including Dave Chappelle, Jimmy Fallon, Tiffany Haddish, Jerry Seinfeld,
Mickey Rourke,
and more is going to take part in the ceremony honoring Hart.
That would be such. Who would turn down the invitation to see Mickey Rourke do a stand-up comedy set?
Do a set, yeah. So, question, Steve, did you send over the movies opening today?
You know what? I did not.
Okay, all
yeah.
right, then we'll just do the clips. How about that?
All right,
Case?
totally. Yeah.
I don't have the clips either.
No, I got him. I got him.
all
Yeah,
right.
but I don't have a.
I got
All right, so Eric Bauza
Bowser
is the 6th person in history to voice Bugs Bunny, but his latest project is tinier. He's voicing Buster Bunny in the Tiny Toons reboot. And in this clip, Eric talks about his favorite Looney Tunes memory. Hit it, please.
My brother and I, we would always laugh at this one short called Hillbilly Hair.
Where Bugs Bunny Dog tries to put one over on these two hillbilly brothers that are trying to kill him. And,
it ends up in Bugs singing this square dance that he kind of tells them what to do, and they just pretty much beat the crap out of each other.
Shut the f*** up!
Yeah, that's one of the great episodes for sure. New episodes of Tiny Toons Luniversity are streaming on Max, by the way. Hey, we got it.
Oh, awesome.
All right, so only 4 episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm remain before we say goodbye to the Misfit crew forever. And in this clip, Cheryl Hines talks about filming the final season. Hit it, please.
It's hard. I go through highs and lows because I love this group so much, and we've had so much fun. It's hard to believe it's over. I don't think it's hit me yet.
It's hard.
Listen, we had Cheryl Hines on years and years and years ago, and it was a fairly weak interview. And I remember thinking, like, you improv, you guys improv all that
What
stuff.
you do.
And you can't
Yeah.
roll with it in
You
an
can't
interview.
improv a personality?
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for, and I love
I like
her.
her. I think she's great. Yeah.
A new episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm airs Sunday on Max, by the way.
But that, Preston, this bizarre sort of alter world that we're in here in Florida, I totally blanked on the fact that it's Friday.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yesterday when we got done with the game and I went back to the hotel and took a little rest, and I was going to come back and meet you guys at your hotel, and I was like, oh, I have to prep for a show tomorrow. I completely forgot about it, and I had to dive into getting crap ready. And,
I know.
But whatever. It's No Sad Bro today.
It's no sad.
No Sad Bro on Friday. We are positioned out front of Coco's Crush Bar in North Beach in Clearwater. And we're just going to hang out and have a good time, meet some people. Some friends are stopping by this morning to chat a little bit more about their experience with the Phils and just this area in general. And we got a really nice setup out here. And as the sun comes up, it's going to be wonderful.
Is Kathy going to do the full flight of...
Orange Crushes? Yeah.
We'll see, man.
Oh, I want coffee first.
Yeah, can we get a coffee, please?
Unless Uber eats it.
We need to do something.
It's being delivered.
I don't think I've ever gone this long before the show without any coffee
I know.
before in my life.
We usually do the first thing in the morning, we do a couple of rails. And
You got at least a bump or something.
I've been reassured that coffee is on its way.
All right. We will take a break. We'll come back in a moment. We'll try to get to things like the Connoisseur, the regular Friday stuff we do as well. So we'll come back live from Coco's in just a few on 93.3 WMMR. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Construction continues here at Colonial Hyundai. We're on our way to a bigger dealership, more service space, and a state-of-the-art showroom. But construction is making space limited, and we're getting more and more shipments of Hyundais every day. So let's keep it simple. Right now, only at Colonial Hyundai, save up to 20% off any new Hyundai in stock with a vast selection.
Love is struggling with
experience in the bathroom here at Coco's just a moment ago. Number one, I walked in and I was happy to see that it's a single bathroom. You get to lock the door.
Yes.
You need a little bit of privacy.
Because sometimes you want to do other things.
You do. Well, no. I mean, I had to go to the bathroom.
I was pleasuring myself.
But anyway, one of the things that That's
my friend Kevin.
Okay.
Wait, Kevin Costello?
All right.
Okay.
Continue.
I just heard somebody yell. What did I miss?
Birds.
What's
Go
happening?
Birds. Go Birds.
Oh, go Birds. Okay. So anyway, back to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the brilliant ideas. Steve, have you been in there yet?
Can I guess?
What?
The sign low on the wall opposing the toilet.
The sign?
There's a sign. The menu is down at
No.
Okay.
No, but the toilet paper dispenser is up high.
Yes.
And I mean, like above eye level, which is kind of a novel. I like that you can pull down on it easier.
That's actually brilliant. Yeah. So
I like it.
And then
And
the
you're not-
menu, if you're sitting on the toilet, if you like, this morning I wanted to pee like a girl, so I sat down, and the menu is right at eye level.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I was just happy about the toilet paper.
No, good move.
I know. I do not like that it is so low at our
It-
station.
it's so
ridiculous.
stupid.
Too low.
The only benefit is you can rest your phone on top of it.
That's true. All right. Well, listen, yesterday, a very important thing happened to one of the members of the Preston Steve Show. He has been talking about this for years and years, seeing an alligator in the wild. Casey has been out. We've gone on golf trips. We've come down to Florida on many occasions, and most of the time his eyes are darting around if you're anywhere near a body of water, and he's looking for alligators.
In all your times coming down to Florida, just passively, have you ever seen yourself, Preston, an alligator? I know I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but where my mom and sister lived, they had a pond adjacent to the building, and we named the alligator. His name was Yahtzee. And we would see him all the time.
He was specific. Casey's been specific. Did not want to go to some sort of animal, some gator world or whatever.
Right.
You wanted to actually see one in its natural environment.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, as I was driving to this park that I went to, I passed by like a gator world.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, not doing it. Not doing it.
That's not what you
not
wanted.
selling out for the man.
Yeah, no, it's not what I wanted. I want, there's
Not on my watch.
there's something cool about seeing an animal in the wild.
Yeah.
Like
Thundering across the plains with other alligators.
yeah, like when I was in the Grand Canyon, I wanted to see like a rattlesnake. I
Right.
never got to. I did see bighorn sheep, but I wanted to see. I don't know, something a little bit more fierce.
You want to see it, and I completely understand that. So,
And the amount of times I've been in Florida, the fact that I've never seen an alligator, it was becoming comical at a certain point.
Where'd you go?
So I went to John S. Taylor Park.
Okay,
all
the
right?
famous alligator observer.
Yeah. I went. I just Googled best places to see alligators near Tampa, and this website came up, and it listed I think like 10 different parks, and so I needed to find something that was in vicinity. And initially I wanted to go on my way from the airport to the hotel on Wednesday. I had a bunch of time to kill. I got here before you guys did, and this particular place was in between the airport and the hotel. I didn't have to like go out of the way, but also I want to read you the description here.
All right.
And this was another reason why this park, sold me on this park. It says, though encounters are extremely rare, the park has been in the headlines for alligator incidents recently. Back in 2022, a man looking for his Frisbee died of an apparent alligator attack here.
Oh, my God.
And in a separate incident, another guy looking for his disc, because there's a Frisbee golf course or a disc golf course near there, was bitten in the face in 2020. So if you accidentally lose a Frisbee in the park, just let it go.
So
It's
this
gone.
is in their own adversing for the park?
This is not advertising
Okay, yeah.
because every
By the
single
way,
one,
people get murdered here all the time.
well, this one is like there was a dog killed at this other park.
By the way,
Yeah.
that's quite. You're reporting constantly in the Bizarre File about people like old women walking their little, poodles along a pond side.
I had a story day before yesterday of a guy, remember getting his hand bit off.
Right, absolutely, right out of Happy Gilmore.
I almost went to Al Lopez Park because it says there have been a few viral videos of some big old boys in here, and a dog was eaten by a gator back in 2008. So watch your step.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is this is exactly what I was looking for. Like this particular web link was like, okay,
Speaking to you.
speaking to me,
And it's
So-
close.
and it
was
is
about,
close.
What, 15, 20 minutes from here?
So it took me about 20 minutes to get there from the Phil's Baycare ballpark, and And so when I pulled up to this park, there was road construction. The road was closed right at the entrance. And I was like, oh, no, is this thing closed?
No!
But I got out of my car. I was able to get into the lot. I got out of the car, and I just there was a big body of water, but it just didn't feel very naturey because there was all this construction. So
had you been practicing your alligator?
The Swarthmore Fire Department's fire alarm went like,
yeah.
And you thought those were alligators.
Well, an adult told me that was an alligator.
You got to drop that because you're never going to get them with that fire thing. So what did you do? How did you seduce the alligators into you?
All right, so I just walked.
Really?
Yeah, that's all I did, man. No, so I was walking down this gravel pathway. There was a body of water to my right. I just kind of was glancing over, looking for something. I didn't know what to look for.
Were you a little concerned because, as Preston has pointed out as well, if an alligator gets up ahead of steam, they can be pretty quick.
Yeah, so I found out from somebody in the park that alligators can run up to 35 miles per hour.
It's true.
That gave me a little bit of pause.
How fast can you run?
Not that fast. Not that fast. So I was wondering, and the whole time I'm walking, I'm looking for my escape route.
Yes.
Right? I'm like, okay, if I'm getting chased by something at 35 miles per hour, I have very limited time to get somewhere. And then I found out they can jump 6 feet.
Were you wearing long sleeves or short sleeves? I'm asking so if you needed to facilitate hidden fists.
I was wearing short sleeves. No hidden fists.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm walking. I didn't see anything, but I ran into some people. I saw people with like cameras, and they said, "Yeah, there's some alligators down there." And so I walked across this little bridge area.
Wait a minute.
What?
You just walk up to these people and you go, "Hey, you guys seen the gators anywhere?"
Well, so I was Instagram living the whole time, so I was kind of doing like a running commentary, which makes me feel a little bit weird. So,
you want your death caught on?
yeah, kind of.
Right,
you know,
yeah.
People to know where I am in case I get, dragged into the
Please
abyss.
play this for my children.
So the people with the cameras said, "Hey, you go check over there." So I started walking over to where they told me to go, and then I saw this kid fishing, and he's like, "Yeah, I seen like 4 alligators over in this area." So I went over to the.
I seen them.
I'm like, "Why aren't you in school right now?" He was on spring break, and so I walked over to this little inlet area where the kid told me to look, and we do have the audio of the moment where
you see the alligator.
where I see the alligator,
All right.
and you'll hear in the audio. So I go over to the water's edge, and I see this scaly thing, and I'm like, "Oh my god,
I seen it."
And I think that maybe it's the tail of an alligator. It turns out it was a bike tire.
Okay.
Okay. Turns out it was
a bike tire.
And then I'll let the
Well,
audio.
that's what alligators eat.
Yeah, that. And I was, you're talking about the Turons and stuff like that. I was getting a little bit pissed off about all the litter and trash.
It's
and
horrible.
stuff. I'm
It's
like,
horrible
come
to
on,
see that.
freaking bike tire in this lake.
Bike tire.
Jason, I think, has the audio of when I came across the alligator.
All right, go for it, Jason.
Keep my eyes out here. Okay. So this is the little inlet that they were talking about here. Whoa. Dude, I thought that was an alligator. I think it's a bike tire. Come on. Bike tire. There's an alligator. Oh my God. Oh, right next to the bike tire. Do you see him? Do you see him? He's a big one too. Maybe we should back away a little bit. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
He's turning. He's turning. Do you see him? He's a big one too.
All right, that's enough. So right next to this bike tire, as I'm laughing at realizing that it's a bike tire, this alligator, this 10-foot alligator, just starts swimming away.
So
crazy.
how were you able to guesstimate, obviously? Were there any tips on how to estimate the size? Because for example, a shark.
Yeah.
There's an equation that works from the dorsal fin to the tail fin to judge the size of a shark. I don't know if there's anything
I just asked him. He was like, "Oh, about 10 foot." So no. So this it was monstrous. This thing.
I think I'm 10 feet.
The when I went over to go get a better look because he started swimming away, and I kept calling it a him. I don't know if it was a boy or a girl, but you just assume all alligators are boys. Yeah,
just they.
Or they. Yeah, you go there then.
You're right. So when I walked over to see get a better glance at him, there were these people over there, and they said that, yeah, he's about 10 feet. I thought he was about 10 feet. But then they also told me earlier that day they were in another park, and they saw another alligator about that big or maybe even a little bit bigger, just straight up eat a blue heron just in front of everybody. He's like, "Arr!" And Kathy.
Now that's your new thing?
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. That's what you want to see now.
Well, when I was at the Cape May Zoo, this poor bird flies into the lion enclosure, and the lion enclosure was like, just ate it in front of everybody. I was like,
nature is effing brutal.
Yeah,
we saw when, and not to go off the line here, but when we were doing our orca watch off of Vancouver Island, everyone's like, the killer whales, and then you see a whale take out a seal, and it's like, oh my God.
Hey, question. So going back to the tire that you saw, and then you realized there was an alligator there, could you see it easily, someone not noticing one that might be very, very close by, and therefore disturbing an alligator and having a bad thing happen?
Did somebody say that?
No, I'm saying, could you yourself now, after being in that experience, realize how stealthy they are, and stumble upon one accidentally?
But it was in water, right?
It was in the water's edge, like right where the water meets the land, and absolutely, Preston. Because as a result, when I went and talked to those people who saw the blue heron getting eaten, we saw another alligator, and he was just kind of like hanging out there. I'm like, I didn't even see that guy, and he was a little bit smaller,
eating a tourist.
Not eating. No, I could totally beat that alligator up, the second one, not the first one.
Yeah.
And then, like after that, Preston, I got so jumpy. Like and I was trying to stay away from the water's edge, and the lady saying that they run 35 miles per hour.
They will bolt out of the water.
And that they can jump 6 feet. I was like, dude, I can't even jump up on these freaking picnic tables to get away from this thing because it'll just hop up on the picnic tables. And then I'm next to this tree, and I'm like, do they climb trees? And I'm like, can I climb this tree?
I really enjoyed your commentary.
You did? Okay, good.
I'm serious. And I want you to have a nature show. I want you to be the next Steve Irwin describing, seeing a bison in the wild or whatever. Like, if you go to a
guy
place
with
like
zero expertise.
No expertise.
Yeah.
If you go to Yellowstone, you'll see a bajillion animals, right? And it's part of the joy of it.
Nick, his catchphrase will be, "Oh boy,
oh boy,
oh boy, oh boy."
Yeah,
I watched it again, and I say "oh boy" a bunch, and I say, "Oh, he's a big boy." I kept saying he's a big. I'm like, dude, can you think of something else to say, you fat idiot?
Was that the only one you saw?
No. So, but Steve, I started getting so jumpy after a little bit.
Well, listen,
there was a squirrel who ran by me. I was like, oh my God! And then a bird started flying, and the fluttering of his wings. I was like, Jesus!
I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here.
So I went.
How far into the park are you at this time? In other
I
words,
would say like a mile in, maybe.
How far away from medical assistance if you needed it?
But there were people around. Like there was a wildlife refuge person that was there. I ended up talking to them for a little bit. So there were people. Like if I were to get attacked, I would have made enough sound that somebody maybe could come over and offer some assistance.
I've shared this story before, Casey, but I got to do a bayou tour in Louisiana, and the guy invited the alligators over.
And how did he do that?
Yenny seed, yeah. And he would slap the water, and he'd bring out chicken. So these things are, he fed the gator chicken, tossed it in the water. Yenny seed, yeah. And he slaps the water.
Yeah.
Is that seeing an alligator in the wild?
For my first time, no.
Okay.
But now,
Yeah.
Now I can go to Gator World. Now I can go on these
I know
tours.
the delineation you're saying. You don't want those like if you're going to go see, and you hate sharks, we know that. But if you were to want to see one, you would want to just see it from casually. You don't want those tours that invite them in with chum.
Listen, we were all having dinner at Backwaters 2 nights ago.
You and the alligators.
And me and the alligators. No, and then these dolphins come swimming by, and everybody was like, and it's not the first time I've seen a dolphin, but it was like so exciting.
No, it is.
And you don't react that same way at a dolphin show. You're not like, oh my God,
well,
dolphins!
There's a difference between a dolphin show and an alligator show.
Yeah.
So I have family that lived in Florida my entire life, and we used to come down here all the time. And they had, a lake in their backyard, and it was always their dogs were never allowed down there. The kids couldn't go down there. Like, you can't go near it because they were like, there is definitely at least one alligator in there, if not more. So anyway, one of my cousins that lived down here, this is how he grew up. He saw alligators all the time. One of his goals, Casey, was to wrestle an alligator.
Oh my God!
Like Jack Reno.
But he did. He got there was somebody who was a professional alligator wrestler, and he went and they trained him for a little while, and he wrestled a freaking alligator.
Well, you remember the story, by the way, of it was at Disney World.
Yeah,
they had that mini beach area.
Yeah, it's right by the Grand Floridian.
A 2-year-old was picked off by an alligator
right in front of his
pond.
dad.
Yeah,
man. I was talking about that last night, but that's terrible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Back to wrestling them, though.
Oh, so there was one other. I want to touch one in the wild, but
no, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
In the wild.
No, you don't.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's countless footage of
Go to
people-
Gator World.
Yeah.
You want to touch an alligator.
But they will flip around quickly, and there's tons of footage of practiced alligator handlers getting attacked.
Yeah, there were signs there that says "Do not feed the alligators," and it's also said "Do not feed or molest the alligators."
They're pretty hot.
No molestar.
That means bother them.
Okay.
It does not mean
Oh, man.
take them anally.
Where's the vagina on this thing?
I mean, you're not supposed to do that either.
By the way, being here in Florida, and do you remember? So obviously, you know the mythos of Florida Man.
Yes.
And I think it might have been last year that there was a vote, or somebody put up a competition to find the most Florida Man video of all time.
Oh.
And I think it turned out to be the guy who used his trash can to wrangle that alligator.
That's right.
That was one of the most compelling videos I've ever seen, because you're going like, no way he's going to get this thing.
It was brilliant. It was a
It was
a garbage
awesome.
can with the lid.
Yeah.
He was able to finesse it in there and
It
got
was
it.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
So that's the only time. See, like I was saying, you want to touch one in the wild?
Yeah.
No way, dude.
No.
You saw how that thing reacted.
see
That
it?
wasn't even a big one.
If you were talking about, like, again, Yellowstone and the people, I think I could pet above there. There's great footage. I forget where it was, and maybe like it was something large, maybe like an elk or something. And it seems sort of placid. I'll go over, and the thing jacks the back legs back and sends his person hurling.
Yep.
So now I have to create a new list of animals that I want to see in the wild. I think rattlesnake is at the top of that list.
I've seen it.
Yeah. I want to see a rattlesnake in the wild.
Seen it.
I want to see any kind of bear in the
Seen
wild.
it.
Yeah.
Kodiak bear. Yeah.
Oh, and then you got what bear did you see?
Black bear.
A black bear.
Yep.
I think those are like the nicest, right?
Yeah, they're
besides
are the
panda bears.
nicest.
they're the first to strike up a conversation.
I've seen a grizzly as well. I saw that at Yellowstone.
Okay, yeah. So,
but there were lots of other people.
Oh my God, I think I just saw Preston Elliott.
The black bear that I saw was just one-on-one.
So bear, mountain lion, I think I'd like to see.
Yes, they're very rare.
Yeah.
And if sometimes they see you before you see them,
and then you won't see them.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to attack you from behind.
I'll tell you what. So growing up for that brief under a year that I was living in Thousand Oaks, California, I saw a wildcat.
Whoa.
And you don't want. So they are smaller than a mountain lion.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that.
Yeah, I've
There
seen
are
a
mountain lions in the mountains of Santa Monica. I mean, there's a national wildlife
that's
refuge.
right,
and they track all of them. Preston, our next guest, if you want to get him on, he actually has an alligator story. I got a text from our buddy John Brazier, and John says that the Fanatic was supposed to do something involving alligators and a zip line a few years ago, and our very good friend might be able to.
Oh, I bet I know what that is.
Let us know about what that story is.
Okay.
We got to hear this.
Excellent. This is our first guest of the morning, a man beloved in Philadelphia and in our hearts as well, and he is here for spring training. And as we've said before, he is as close to the Philly Fanatic as anyone could ever possibly be. Our friend Tom Burgorn is here this morning. How you doing, buddy?
Welcome to Clearwater.
Thank you, man.
Good to see you,
We're having
man.
a great time.
How awesome is this?
Yeah.
Oh, so
Phenomenal. Yeah, we had a blast at the game yesterday. Hung out with John last night, had a ball. You know, you
Back
guys,
to the Columbia, right?
You two guys do a wonderful podcast. He had sent me over a couple of podcasts to listen to in preparation for our interviews yesterday, and I love listening to you guys. You have a great rapport, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've known John a long time.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, as he put it, you have a collection of stories, and you're friends with all these people, so it makes it sort of effortless conversation.
Yeah.
And that's a good place to start from.
And you know what? We had dinner with him last night, and he had us all laughing so much on so
God.
many different occasions. And He's a great storyteller, and
But
he's a funny dude.
Dad jokes out the
Legitimate.
wazoo.
Yeah.
He's a
Bad
great
joke.
raconteur, and I love hanging out with him. And I'm wearing your shirt today, Tom. So thank you for the
the backstage
man.
podcast.
Thanks, brother.
Brazier and Burgoyne fanatics.
Thanks for bringing it.
So what John texted to me and Casey had to do with you and St. Augustine, Florida, and apparently the Fanatic was supposed to do something. So do you want to share that story with us?
This is my 31st opening day down here.
Wow.
with
Oh,
the
my
Fanatic.
God.
Yes,
Wow.
the Fanatic's been dragging me down here for 31 years. But it's the 11th year that the Fanatic has been doing all the games.
Okay.
And so to kind of kick that off 11 years ago, Brazier and I went on this crazy, road trip. Yeah, we bring the Fanatic. We stopped at the south of the border where the Fanatic bought.
So you're getting video and stuff
yes,
of him
yes,
doing all these things. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
On his way down.
Yeah.
And we saw that there was this alligator farm in St. Augustine.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it was kind of an outdoor thing. And unfortunately, it was raining.
Oh, no.
And the Fanatic was supposed to zip line across.
Zip line over
Like
alligators?
a bed of alligators.
Oh,
Or a
like-
swamp of alligators. Whatever you call a big
group.
A
grouping
flock.
of-
Yeah.
a
Murder
herd
of
alligators. So, but we had to get the photo op. We're there. So the Fanatic actually held a baby alligator.
Okay.
So that
was it
very nice.
a baby alligator or a caiman?
I don't know.
Because
What
sometimes they'll give you those.
yeah, or maybe it was an enlarged gecko. I have no idea. There were.
By the way,
what you call a group of alligators? I
What?
just learned this. A congregation.
Congregation.
Yeah.
It's very, very
I learn something new
Baptist.
every day.
Yeah.
Foo Fighter songs about that.
So let me ask you. Obviously, you know the Fanatic very well. In Florida heat, does he ever complain about the heat strokes?
No. I mean,
Okay.
he's from the Galapagos.
Yeah, that's
Steve.
true.
So
That's true. Yeah.
he's used to the dry, arid,
Yeah.
weather, and so the heat doesn't bother him. He loves coming down. When he comes, it's spring training for everybody.
Okay.
So he's trying to shed a few pounds.
Right,
when he
warming
gets
up.
down
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
He
How
could
many
certainly use the-
friends of the Fanatic are there in Florida? Do you know other people who know him very well?
Well, the number one, I guess, would be Bryce Harper.
Okay.
So, he's number one. Jason Kelsey would be number two, but we just lost Jason. I can't believe the Fanatics were very upset that Jason retired.
Yeah.
They're very upset. They're buddies.
Yeah.
But, he's got a lot of friends down here.
And how long are you guys here for? You head back.
The duration. Yeah. So the Fanatic is at every home game.
Yep.
Which is great. It was actually the late great David Montgomery, who we loved. David, it was his idea to say, hey, the Fanatic should be down here for every game.
Awesome.
And he really belongs down here. He gets great response. People, love seeing the Fanatic down here. The teams down here, so the Fanatic should be.
I got a text message from a friend of mine who's on the who's on my cycling team. Who I didn't even realize that they were at the game yesterday. But she said, "Dude, I high five the Fanatic. Like my life is complete."
It's amazing to watch, and even I don't care what your age range is. I don't care what situation. I've seen obviously the Fanatic will show up at all sorts of situations. Reduces everyone to a 6-year-old, and it's an amazing gift that creature has.
It really is. It's just awesome to see. On the other side of it, I see that every day, that reaction, and really, I mean, in talking about Bryce Harper, it is funny how he. It's not put on. He loves the Fanatic.
I tell you, to me, watching the Fanatic yesterday, I'm like, the coolest aspect of that job is the ATV. I think is riding around.
All right,
no
no doubt.
Has to be a blast.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That and shooting hot dogs into the crowd. That's two of the fun things. But
Yeah.
the ATV, they're great down here. They always provide that for the Fanatic.
Right.
Gets them around the field. And still the players take the keys down here. I mean, it's part of the act.
The
which is
lore,
great.
yeah.
Tom, if you're not comfortable sharing this story, I understand, but we were told a story about the Fanatic at the Vet and the ATV and Bobby Abreu and SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh my God!
And
You did have dinner with Fraser
did,
last
yeah,
night.
yeah.
We were
my God.
like I had tears
It was
coming
awesome.
down my face last night.
It's so hilarious. So the Fanatic loves bringing SpongeBob to the games. He hasn't done it in a while, but you bring SpongeBob to the game. You have him do the YMCA. Now, SpongeBob, if you don't know, kind of has dead arms.
Yeah.
It's
They dangle.
They dangle.
Like Tyrannosaurus.
And so the hilarity ensues when the Fanatic is there and he's trying to get, and I think we've had Patrick there, the starfish. But the hilarity ensues when it gets to that point in the song of YMCA where the Fanatic is excited and he's getting ready to lead everybody in YMCA, and you just get this out of SpongeBob. He can't quite get
floppy
there.
arms.
Not
Floppy
really a
arms.
Y.
That's
so
right. We're
much.
on the radio.
Yeah.
And so, and it just turns out it was this one time we brought SpongeBob in. It was the first time this girl had ever been in this costume. The costume is big. It's bulky. It's very uncomfortable, and it's the
It's
first
a
time.
square.
Yeah, and meanwhile she's in front of 50,000 people on a Sunday, trying to do YMCA. So the Fanatic, when we got off the field, hoisted SpongeBob onto his ATV. So she's facing the back. The Fanatic is now going to drive the ATV off the field. So he goes around home plate. And he's just as he hits the truck ramp.
There's a ramp at the vet. If people
There's
don't
a ramp,
remember,
the right field side. Just as
it went up.
He went up, and just as he hit it, SpongeBob, who was facing backwards, just did a face plant onto the field. And Abreu's standing there. He's getting ready to throw a ball into the crowd, and Abreu lost it. I lost it. I just happened to be there with the Fanatic. And it was just the funniest thing. And then the aftermath of this kid who's never been in this costume before trying to get up.
Yeah.
Was just,
you have no arms.
John said she may have been like out for a moment or two, like knocked out, face down.
That was a good
and
one.
Abreu could not compose himself,
No,
right?
yeah. It was so fun.
What was the best you got? Like UMCA? Was that as close as it got?
What's that?
UMCA instead of YMCA. Wow,
geez.
man, the things that character has seen over the years has just got to be outlandish.
Has there ever been
a lot of fun.
has there ever been, or the proposal of a mascot? I mean, let's stop and think about how firmly entrenched, especially the Fanatic. I mean, who surpasses the Fanatic? But I mean, a movie about that lifestyle about I mean,
I think there was one, wasn't there? I think there was a mascot documentary that was.
But what about even like a fictionalized, based on?
I know.
I mean,
Steve, I tried writing a.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
I wrote up a whole plot, a little backstory, and a
oh
whole
my God.
thing.
Get somebody like the Zucker
Well,
brothers.
how about somebody like maybe a St. Joe's Prep alum like Rob McElhenney behind it or something?
I know.
Like
I
that?
got to talk to Rob.
Yeah.
I got to talk to Rob. But
It's just tons of stories.
there are. It's insane. It's been a long time. I've been around them, and every day is a funny story.
One of my
Every
favorite
day.
things about the Fanatic is following the Fanatic on Instagram because there are never any captions. It's just photos because the Fanatic doesn't talk.
Right.
So why would he post anything with words? It's just photos every single time. And it like to me, it's a subtle little joke, but it's one that gets me.
Yeah, it's funny. He doesn't have a Twitter page because he doesn't really have a voice. It would have been weird to kind of be like, "Hi, kids, it's me." Like that's not the Fanatic.
No, kill it.
And we heard Beyonce had I think when we first got that Instagram page going, we heard that Beyonce has a Instagram page. She never has any captions. It's just pictures. I'm like, well, it's good enough for Beyonce.
Yeah.
It's good enough for the Fanatic.
All right. So you guys are the Phils are playing tonight. There's a night game in Houston, I think.
Well, they play the Astros, but it's in West Palm Beach.
Yeah.
And I think it's like one of the rare occasions where the Phils are actually away for a night. I think they're flying out.
And hardly,
Now you and
happens.
you and the Fanatic don't go to those games.
No,
do you?
just the home games.
Okay. All right. So you're set to go, and you get
Yeah.
a little time off to
Yeah, a
relax
little time
in between
off.
games.
My son just came down with his fiance, so we'll have a day together, which is going to be awesome.
He's 8 years old, by the way.
And then opening day, home opener, 2 weeks from yesterday.
Yes.
Back at Citizens Bank Park. And
Yeah,
here we
I
go,
know.
man.
It's crazy. We have spring training down here. The last couple of years, we've started on the road. So it's a little bit of a thing. We get home and then 2 days later, boom, we're into opening day. Can't wait. I mean, it's going to be sold out. We have a lot of stuff lined up for that day. As you guys saw yesterday, I mean, the team's on a mission.
Oh,
It's
my
great.
God.
It's great to have the same nucleus back.
Yes.
Everybody has their favorite Philly on this team. It's great. Not that they were going to break up their team. All these guys are in their prime.
Yep.
And, I think, they're really on a mission.
Excellent, man.
Hey, and I did bring gifts. I come bearing gifts.
Please.
Nice.
Okay. Can't wait to see if you're just joining. Tom Burgorn is here with us, and he has
wow.
got
There it
Fanatic
is.
hats.
Yes.
All right.
Love it.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you, man.
terrific.
Thank you,
They
Tom.
are the Philly Fanatic batting practice caps that the players are going to be wearing this year.
That's sensational.
First time in MLB history that a mascot has been on a player-worn item on the field.
I assume these are available in the shops. And
They
everything.
are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Fanatic's very excited. He already had a big head, but now that he's being honored this way, it's gotten a little out of hand.
That's
being
terrific.
around him.
The greatest mascot in sports
Yes.
history, period.
Yep.
Fanatic, without question. We're very proud of you and the Fanatic, Tom. with
Thanks,
that.
guys. I really appreciate having me. Have a blast the rest of the stay down
Yeah,
here.
thank you. Appreciate it. Tom McGowan, guys. The closest you can possibly get to the Fanatic as a human
wouldn't
being
believe
can
how
be.
close.
It's insane how close they are. All right, we have a lot of stuff to get to. We are in Clearwater. We're at Coco's Crush Bar and Grill, and the sun is now out. It's daytime, and we're enjoying ourselves, and we're going to be meeting some more people as we go through the morning. We'll take a break, come back in a second. We'll get to the bizarre file when we return on MMR. Stay with us. condition. Police said that she was the person who called 911. And a police officer said everything is indicating at this point the same projectile that impacted his head was the one that impacted the female as well.
Well, your mind reels.
Yeah, they said it appears that this individual took his own life in the process, almost took his girlfriend's life as well. Further details about the discussion between the couple that led up to the shooting were not immediately released. A vet has said that he felt bewildered after discovering a dog had eaten 133 coins, and it was a Charlie, a Bichon Frise, that was taken to the vet by
a small dog.
His concerned owners. When he became ill, an ultrasound showed an obstruction in the dog's stomach, which was thought to be plastic, but surgery revealed he had swallowed the huge amount of coins.
What the
It was only, that's the surgeon as he opened the dog up. It was only during the operation that the haul of coins were found, and he said, we opened his stomach and found 133 coins inside of him.
You would assume that a dog is incited to continue eating by good taste.
Right? Or some. My friend's dog would eat rocks.
Really?
So they had like rocks, their shed set on top of rocks, and they could not let the dog anywhere near that area of the yard because he would just eat them.
So they said we did find some pieces of plastic in there as well, but the owners had no idea that he'd eaten the coins.
And a human hand.
It was a mystery as to how the dog had managed to ingest so many. The vet said, I don't think they had been in there that long, maybe the night or 2 nights before he came in because of the size of the obstruction. Despite the unusual nature of Charlie's snack, the vet said that it was not uncommon for dogs to take a fancy to loose change. He said it does happen, but usually they stop after a couple of them.
Right.
133 is an impressive amount. Charlie's now making a good recovery from his experience with the coins. Could have caused more serious harm if they had remained undetected.
Years ago, my friends Bichon Frise ate 6 green dry markers.
Really?
Yeah.
Dry erase markers?
Yeah. And had to go in for surgery. They were of the smaller kind.
Okay.
But the only reason he knew she had done that is there was a green beard and mustache around her mouth.
So I assume maybe that must have been a flavor thing, I guess. I mean, maybe because they smell.
Maybe.
Those dry erase markers have a strong scent to them.
It'd have to be something. I mean, if you.
Weird.
It can't. Who knows?
Here, hang on, Marissa. Let me smell this. I love the smell of dry erase markers.
Try eating it.
Yeah, hang on a second.
What does it taste like?
Tastes like crap.
Stupid dog.
All right, in California, a mail carrier. Ugh.
Yeah.
All right, well, wait a second. Casey, there's some pebbles behind you. Let me try those.
Was assaulted in a seemingly unprovoked attack caught on video. Bruce Jennings has worked 20-plus years for the U.S. Postal Service and was assaulted by a man with a decades-long criminal history that includes assault with a deadly weapon and burglary. Jennings said the man was upset that he didn't have a package for him and that he was asking for it to be delivered to a vacant home where he was allegedly squatting.
Where's my package?
Surveillance video shows the suspect exchange words with Jennings and gesture as if he was going to punch him. Jennings walks away. The suspect suddenly punches him in the back of his head. The two men then circle each other as the male lays scattered on the street. The suspect reaches for his pocket before throwing more punches that Jennings took to the ground. And Jennings said prior to that, he said, as I was approaching him, he is telling me that he could do me foul. And he said, I don't know what that means.
Excuse me, sir?
Yes.
I said I can do you foul.
Jennings said that he's seen the suspect in the neighborhood before. Neighbors said they also know the suspect.
Well, I don't want to be done foul.
Too bad, buddy.
He was arrested last week for breaking into another home and is still in custody. Neighbors want to keep it that way, by the way. All right. Let's do one more story, and then we will wrap up the bizarre file. Let's see. We will go... Yeah, we'll go with this one. I saw the video of this. A tourist in Puerto Rico dove into the water to cool off and was blindsided by what shot out at him behind like a torpedo in the moment of terror off of Cayo Ayacocos Island. Laughter turned to loud screams as witnesses for an instant probably thought it was a shark attacking him. There was a woman named Maggie Clark videotaping it, and apparently, so the guy jumps in, and you see this flash come up and hit him.
Oh, my God.
No, it was a barracuda.
Oh.
Yes, so barracudas are notorious for that.
I mean, it looked like a bullet out of a gun and just bam, and nails him, but he wasn't hurt or anything like that. but it scared the hell out of him. As soon as the Barracuda made a U-turn, they all breathed normally again, and then the laughter returned. But up until then, it was kind of pretty terrifying.
When my wife was diving in Turks and Caicos a while ago, they kind of linger.
Yep.
You've seen them, right, when you were diving?
In the wild, Casey.
Right, yeah.
I've seen them in the wild. Yeah, they're pretty scary because they have really big teeth, and you can see them clearly.
They're almost like they're doing a Wolfman impression.
Yeah, it's like that. So, but, if you stay away from them, you're pretty good. All right, and there you go. That is what we have in the Bizarre File for you this morning. All right, I want to go ahead and take a break because we have William H. Macy standing by.
How about that?
We're going to talk to him in just a few minutes. He's got the appearance at the Keswick. The show is tonight. They're going to be screening the film Fargo. He's doing a Q&A. Kathy loves him in Shameless, obviously.
Yes.
Or you love to hate him, maybe.
No, you love him.
Okay, but we'll chat with him in just a moment or two, and then we got to meet some other people here while we are at Coco's Crush Bar and Grill in North Beach, Clearwater, Florida. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve.
Preston and Steve.
On
Thank you.
93.3 WMMR.